A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him, and he began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are you when they insult you and they persecute you, and they utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord. So the pastor was very profound one Sunday, and he said, you know, a homily, he said, is like a blade of grass. Grows and it grows on you. So the following Saturday, the poor pastor was out mowing the lawn in front of the rectory, and a parishioner passed by. And he said, "Aha, Father, I see you're cutting your homily for tomorrow." So, today our gospel theme is about happiness. Doesn't everybody want to be happy? Isn't that what we try all of our lives? I just wish I was happy. And the story of the cat running after his tail, and never catching his tail, but still running. So the older cat said to him, "What are you doing?" He says, "If I can catch my tail, I know I'll be happy." And the older cat said, "You know what? When I was your age, I did that too. I gave up on it. I found that when I walked away, my tail always followed me." And the search for happiness, the desperate running after our tail, goes on every day in our lives. Every television commercial is the same. If you want to be happy, we've got these beautiful engagement rings. We've got this wonderful trip to an exotic island. You can have this magnificent car. You can be part of the rich and famous. And we're being fed this every day, that happiness consists in the things of this world. The luxuries, the pleasures, these are the things that are going to make us happy. That's not what the gospel says. The gospel says those who are truly happy are not the people who try to control their own lives, who decide they're going to be happy. No. The gospel message says those who truly place their trust in God are going to be happy. Sometimes you're poor. Sometimes you're sick. Sometimes you're mourning because you've lost a loved one. Sometimes you're in a situation of injustice. Sometimes the world, the house, the family is not at peace. That's life. And that's where we must place our trust in God. That's where we have to have faith that God is the one who gives happiness, that God is the one who guides our lives, and that if we are faithful and follow God, we will be happy in a deeper way. Now, in the United States of America and in the Western world, Europe included, and the Western world, faith and belief in God is in decline. There was a huge study done a few years ago by a group called Pew Research. They interviewed 35,000 people. And they found out that the biggest church in the United States are people who do not believe in any God. They call them the nuns, not N-U-N-S, but N-O-N-E, none. 56 million people said they do not believe. And that number is higher among younger generations. Over 60% of younger generations saying they do not believe in God. The reasons they give, and I'll pick just two. Those who have no faith now say that they never really grew up with a good experience of faith in their lives, in their families, in their churches. Their parents were kind of lukewarm about faith and religion. And so now they have no faith. The other thing they mentioned was, we never have family experiences of faith in our church. By that they mean we don't have baptisms, we don't have weddings, we don't have funerals in our church. I can certainly identify with that. 30 years ago, any Saturday afternoon that you drove down through Hillside, from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you always found limousines in front of the church with ribbons and signs of just married. Now you have to go to Cabo or go on top of a hill somewhere to find just married. Baptisms. I meet parents who say, well, my boy and my girl they're 8 now, they're 9, but, Father, we never bothered getting them baptized. There was no celebration of them coming into the church. Funerals? Well, no, Father, we're not having a funeral. But I'll tell you what, we might get together at the country club at Thanksgiving and remember Mom. In other words, any kind of religious experience that stays with a child is not being given to them anymore. Is it any wonder then that faith and religious affiliation is on the wane. So that's the world. That's the world that your children are growing up in. And left to the world, they will be swept along by the ways of the world. Other things will be presented to them. Sports, scholarships, fame. But they'll be unhappy. This is why on this Sunday we celebrate Catholic Schools Sunday. Because parishes believe that Catholic schools provides their families with the opportunity to grow in faith and to grow in morals and values that are lasting throughout their lives. And why we encourage and ask families to come together on Sundays is because, like you are doing today, these celebrations have a lasting effect on the memory of our children. And they will want to give to their children what they experienced. But if they experience nothing, they have nothing to give. Parents invest time, energy, focus, and financial resources into the developing of faith and commitment in their children. It is money, it is time well spent. And the results of it will be seen in the future. As parents, you can never predict the future. You don't know how your child is going to turn out. You pray and you hope and you do everything you can, but it's out of your hands. But you must sow the seed. You must sow the seed. God is the one who gives the growth. But if there's no seed, there can be no growth. And so our job as parents is to give our children the opportunities to experience their faith. Not just send them to school to learn the catechism or to learn dogma. No, but to experience with them the love of God for them. And to communicate in every way we can, even with donuts. To communicate every way we can that being in community and being together and sharing our faith together is something that's very important to you as a parent. And so when it comes to their turn to be parents, it will be important to them. Let them be taken away in the flow of secularism, but let the memories and let the work that parents do for them now be what will guide them and direct them in the future. Remember what St. Augustine, after doing all of his stuff and having all of the pleasures that life can give them, came to the conclusion that only in God is our soul at rest. Communicate that to your families, that all the other stuff is very passing, but only in God is our soul at rest.